welcome back everybody to Hayes Tech and ROM Reviews. As promised, I told you I would go over Popcorn Kernel really quick. As you guys can see, here is the developer. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name, but it's Athule. As you can see here, the features for it, CCal, which is awesome. I like being able to change the colors to my liking. Get the whites really white and the darks or the blacks really black. It has many different governors in it. I know that he is also trying to work on getting Mako Hotplug to work with it, but he does have several different governors in it. Under the IS or the schedulers, he did include Maple in the latest test release. I am running with that. I'll show you guys. It's working great. If he can get Mako to work, the hot plug, that's going to be awesome. I love that hot plug. Although he does have some other hot plugs on here. If you guys want to try them out, you can. And again, I'll show you the setup I'm using. But this is everything about it. If you guys want to go to the XDA thread, which I'll put a link in the video description, you can go there, read it. Make sure you thank the developer. We don't have that many new kernels for the Nexus 6. A lot of people have given up on this device, and I'm just glad there are people out there that haven't. So kudos to the developer for this. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go into Kernel Auditor mod so I can show you all the features. I recommend Kernel Auditor mod. I do not recommend, listen to me, I do not recommend the latest app, which I think is Kernel Auditor Reborn. It seems that when you power off and power back up, a lot of the settings don't stay for some reason. I don't know why, but they don't. But with the Kernel Auditor mod, I'm using the very last version before they switched over to the updated app. Everything's working great. So I do recommend this, and I do recommend the one from the XDA thread and not the one from the Play Store. Okay. And of course, to use Kernel Auditor mod, you're going to need BusyBox installed. I recommend using the BusyBox that comes with Magisk. If you go to the download section, scroll down a little bit to the Bees, and download their version of BusyBox. It works great in conjunction with Magisk, so I do highly recommend that you use that. We're going to go ahead and get right into this. I don't want to make this a really long video. I'm just going to go over the settings that I change. And I don't recommend actually that you guys change anything. It runs great just the way it is, but if you do want to change it, the options are there to do that. As you guys can see, I am running a hot plug right now, so only the needed cores come online. As you can see, I'm running one core right now. It will run with 2 cores for the most part, and then jump up to 3 and 4 when needed. That does save a lot on the battery. You can set your CPU limits. Of course, your maximum is going to be 2649. They don't allow, overclocking. I can't see any reason to overclock the kernel, or to overclock the CPU on this. Anyways, it's just going to run your battery down, cause your device to overheat, and you're going to have problems. This device runs great just the way it is. So it is what it is. Under the governors, these are the governors that it comes installed with. You have chill, conservative, interactive, on-demand, performance, power saver, and user space. I am running with chill right now. Usually I run with I run with conservative, but usually when I do run with conservative, I'm normally running Mako Hotplug, and since this does not have the Mako Hotplug, I'm just running with chill, and so far it seems to be working great. I do not change or mess with the CPU boosts or anything else in the CPU section. Next up is going to be Hotplug. I want you guys to see the different hot plugs that they come with. You have MP Decision Auto SMP, which was developed by MRG666, and then of course they have State Helper, which is a newer one that was put out by NeoBuddy89. It's also a pretty good hot plug. I'm only running the Auto SMP because I'm kind of familiar with the way it's set up. I can set it up to my liking. It seems that everything is working for me. Now guys, don't take my settings and expect them to run on your device. as well as they do mine. Remember, all devices are different. Each one is going to react differently to the settings that you use. Try them out, but do not hit apply on boot until you can run the device for several hours without having any issues. If it runs good for you, go back into Kernel Auditor Mod, hit that apply on boot, and then you'll have those settings saved all the time. Okay, next up, I mean, I'll show you the thermal settings and stuff, but I don't mess with these. But these are your thermal settings here. Your GPU settings, if you guys want to go in there, these are the settings for that. Again, I don't mess with any of the settings as far as GPU goes. I think the supplied settings work great. Excuse me. Now under screen, under the color profile, I go with banged up. It seems that banged up gives me the best compromise between having a really white and my deepest dark blacks. It could be different on your device. If you want to run with something a little cooler, you could go with like Perfection. Perfection actually gives it like a pinkish hue. I think Slim Cooler, that gives you that bluish white kind of look to it. That's why I really like banged up. It's a warm, it's kind of a warm white with real dark blacks. I really like it. Of course, you can go in here and set these all up on your own. If you want to go with custom color settings, you know, have at her. Go in there. You can change your hue and your screen value, contrast, all that, and also change your color settings between your red, green, and blue. Wake controls does come with you know, your double tap to wake, sweep to wake, and sweep to sleep. Plus the camera gesture. I've been working with it. I can't get the camera gestures to work. I also couldn't get the double tap to wake to work either. That's why it's disabled. I tried full screen, half screen. I still couldn't get it. It's okay. It's not something that I really use a lot anyways. Although I do have LGs and I'm used to it working on my Nexus 6 or my Pixel 2 XL. Next up is going to be your sound control. It has SoC drivers, tunable. I am running with them on. These are all the settings here. I do have my headphone, you know, for both the right and left, all the way up. Handset microphone gain all the way up, and I usually run the microphone for the video at about 13 to 15. Power and battery, this comes with USB fast charge, thank goodness for that. Also has the Create C state settings if you want to run with that. Many different settings. It's just he's really packed a lot of good features into this. I'm not missing much of anything that I liked with Blackbird kernel, which was my favorite kernel of all time. This has almost everything except for Make a Hotplug, and right now the Hotplug I'm using seems to be working pretty good. He did include under the schedulers Maple, which is awesome. I like Maple Hotplug. Don't quote you guys. I'm not a professional at kernels and what the settings are and what they do. All I know is when I run Maple under this setting, it seems that the device just runs smoother. I get smoother scrolling. I get, you know, there's not a lot of lag here and there. So that's just how I set it. You guys can try any of them. Normally they run with CFQ or BFQ, ISO sometimes. Of course, that's not on there. I think Zen is balls out, if I'm not mistaken. So that's what I run there. These are the other settings. You guys can go in there. I don't change any of this. The only thing I change is I change to Maple. I think it comes with Noop set by default. Low memory killer, if you guys want to get in there. Of course, you can change this around too. Remember, do not hit that apply on boot until you can run the device for a couple of hours, or even run Antutu. Run it through its paces, and if it can run through Antutu without rebooting or shutting down, then I'd say you're good to go. Virtual memory, if you guys want to adjust that, you do have your dirty ratio. Again, I don't touch any of these. Dirty background ratio, you know, all of this. Again, I leave this as flashed. If I change something, I'll tell you that I change it, and I don't change any of this. Entropy, again, this is something that I don't change. Under miscellaneous controls, the only thing I did here was I changed the toggle from enforcing to permissive as far as the kernel goes. I don't recommend it. It leaves your device vulnerable, although I don't care. I like a permissive kernel. I always have. I don't have anything on my device that I'm worried about anyways. I don't use my credit card on my phone. I don't do anything crazy like that. And I don't have anything on here that I'm worried about people getting off of the device. So, but you can change your host name if you want. A lot of other settings, your vibration settings. I have mine set at 29. Usually I go anywhere between 25 and 30%. They do have some tools that come with Kernel Auditor Mod backup. You can back up your settings the way you have them if you want. Build prop editor in there, all kinds of stuff with this app. But that's it. This is Popcorn Kernel for the Nexus 6, and this is 8.1.0, so it will support pretty much most of all the ROMs out there that I can think of in the XDA thread that are newer. Remember, this kernel only works with ROMs that were built with Camcorey's device trees. Okay, I do know that it works on any LOS based ROM for the most part. Most of those are built with Camcorey's trees, but there are a few AOS. Sorry about that, I got cut off. There are a few AOSP based ROMs out there that that do have Camcorey's device trees in them. You have to read the OP in the first post of any ROM thread on XDA. If you scroll down to source or anywhere in the description, it will tell you what device trees that they use to build the ROM with. And as long as it has Corey's trees in it or Camcorey's trees in it, this kernel should work on that device. Guys, again, this is Popcorn Kernel for the Nexus 6 Oreo 8.1.0. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. And I just want to thank all of my subscribers. You guys are the best, and I will see